for international speakers. And first out is Lukas Satter from Switzerland Mobility. And Switzerland has we will hear all about it, I think, in these 250 slides you will show. In my view, built up an impressive infrastructure in terms of both trails, but also mainly information. And maybe we'll learn more about that. An important thing is, Lukas will be with us in the afternoon, but unfortunately he's going to Paris in the afternoon, so he has to leave at 3 o'clock. So he's only with us until 3 o'clock. So if you have any urgent pressing questions to Lukas, do it before he leaves. Please, Lukas.
Grüezi miteinander. Good morning to everybody. Thank you for this warm welcome, Michael. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really glad to present you the most important topics, content, strategy of Switzerland Mobility, and you will quite soon see what is Switzerland Mobility. It's a combination of elements, combination of competences, combination of partners for making easy for the end consumers. So, if you talk about Switzerland Mobility, it doesn't mean only cycling. It means the national offer for hiking in Switzerland. It means the national offer for mountain biking. It means the national offer for inline skating, and it means the national offer for canoeing. So we have 5 mobility forms, and all together is communicated as Switzerland Mobility. So when we talk about Switzerland Mobility, we have to start to talk about elements. Elements, for example, public transport, specifically important in Switzerland, of course. We talk about the routes for hiking, routes for cycling, for mountain biking, and so on. Then, very important, of course, also in Switzerland is the signposting, again, for this different kind of mobility forms. We have all kind of services. You heard already in the presentations before, accommodation, bookable offers, and so on. Then we have all the information stuff in print, in internet, for example. Then the marketing on the national, on the transnational, on the international level, also on the regional level, on the destination level, and all that for nothing else than for the guests. But if you look at this building, it's immediately obvious that you don't want to live in such a building, but it's immediately clear that the different elements don't really fit together in an ideal way. So what is the strategy of Switzerland Mobility? It's to make it easier to consider the area between the 2 white lines that you can see here on the slide. And so, if we and our partners succeed in concentrating the investments, concentrating the energies within the area between the two white lines, it's clear that it's cheaper, it's more efficient, and that's important for us, it's important for our partners, and it's specifically also important, of course, in Switzerland as a whole. So, if the investments are coordinated, if they are concentrated, it will be more efficient, cheaper for everybody. And so, you may ask, why and how specifically? How did Switzerland Mobility organize this? How was it possible? So, let's come back again to the different elements, to the central idea, to Switzerland Mobility. And in a way, if you come back again to this image with the different floors that don't really fit together, it's not so difficult to imagine what should happen to make it easier to understand, specifically for the customers, the end consumers. First of all, when we were looking to define the routes, we really strongly looked for that they fit together with the public transport stops. Buses, trains, ships, and so on. Then we looked together with our partners that only the best routes are signposted in a similar way, and not routes that are, for example, not connected with the public transport system. The same procedure with the accommodation partners, or for example with the bookable offers, in relation together with tour operators who offer bookable offers, for example for cycling, for hiking and so on. We looked at really that they invest or they create or they sell their offers on the best of routes that are correctly signposted, who are well connected with the public transport, where you have also information tools and so on. So it's easier also for the professional partners, like for example tour operators, to create bookable offers on the cycling network in Switzerland. The same thing with information tool. It would be stupid if, for example, important editor in Switzerland would communicate something totally different than the other partners do in signposting, in connecting public transport, in selling bookable offers and so on. So really it's a hard work, an all-day work. It never stops that kind of work to convince, for example, the editors who produce maps, who produce guidebooks, to describe this best of routes in Switzerland and nothing else. The same task for the marketing partners, like Switzerland Tourism, like also the regional tourism organization. Regularly we ask, we convince, we motivate them, please, if you do marketing on cycling, on mountain biking, on hiking, please take into account the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, and the fourth floor, because there are already investments that are made. So if you make marketing in relation with Switzerland Mobility or on Switzerland Mobility, then the end consumers will understand the product, they can profit of what has already done, they can build on a building, and it's not something totally separated. And if these different floors fit together, the public transport network, the best of routes, the signposting system, the bookable offers, or in general the services, information tool, internet print, and the marketing, then the result is obvious. What will happen on the top? We will have more cyclists, more hikers, and more mountain bikers, because the system as a whole is understandable, and it's in a way the same message that already Jens Erik showed you with his temple. In Switzerland it's a house, not a temple, but the message in a way, it's the same. And to make it understandable and also possible to organize, we have a common element that's common text, common photo, common image material, and the common map, that's really important also. And it's a way a common database that we coordinate, Switzerland Mobility coordinates for Switzerland. So for example, if an editor wants to communicate about cycling in Switzerland route, national route, he knows where to ask for. If an editor wants to produce a guidebook, he knows where the original data are, and so on. So the content is the same, and the precision also of the data is the same. And all the rest is nothing else than connect the different data, so that really the end consumer find again this kind of information. Where are the routes? Where are the services? Where are the public transport connections? And so on. And in a way, that's the strategy of Switzerland Mobility. And even if you can hear some slightly modified version of the Swiss flag, you could also put on the right-hand side the Swedish flag, or the Danish flag, or the Norwegian flag. It doesn't change at all, because this simple strategy, we are convinced, will function in every country. That's not specific Swiss, not at all. Voila, so let's become a little bit more concrete on the spatial level to look a little bit more precisely what does it mean on the spatial level, this system, this offer for cycling, hiking, mountain biking, and so on in Switzerland. What is the central idea? It's, first of all, look where are the services. For example, public transport. For example, accommodation partners. For example, where people can eat. For example, bike rental stations. For example, buses, ships, and so on. If we take this all together, these are the main points where routes for cycling, mountain biking, hiking, and so on should cross, because it makes no sense to create a route through a fantastic, beautiful landscape, and then to remark, oh, it's not possible to sell it because there are no restaurants, no public transport stops, no hotels, and so on. So we made the inverse. First of all, we looked where are the main points in Switzerland where all these services are, and only in a second step we created the route corridors, so we defined with our partners together the route corridors based on these center points where the services are. And so all the network in Switzerland for all the 5 mobility forms are based on a day trip structure. It's this yellow arrow that you can see, and so based on this principle to link on a day trip structure with different points where the services are, we created the route network of Switzerland Mobility. The national routes for hiking, the regional routes for hiking, and the local routes for hiking. All this shown in green. Then the same principle for cycling, national routes, regional routes, and local routes for cycling, here shown in blue. And then the same system, the same strategy for mountain biking, for inline skating, and for canoeing. So for all these 5 mobility forms, we have national routes, we have regional routes, and we have local routes. And it's not to make us pleasure, it's to make it understandable. If you understood the structure of one mobility form, you will understand all Switzerland mobility. And so it's really, that's the main purpose of this system. It's easy, very, very easy to understand. And it's easy, and that's specifically important, it's easy to organize your trip. For example, you rent a bike at one place, you make a trip through Switzerland, and then you can give back the bike in another place after some days or after 2 weeks, and then travel home again. It's easy to organize your trip. And the same thing if you are on vacation on one place only, for example, 1 week, you can organize your trips or your excursions from this destination. For example, one-day trips with inline skating, mountain biking, hiking, or cycling. And with this strongly structured route system, it's also easy to make a one-day trip to the next point where the public transports are, and then travel back again to the place where you stay during this week. So for all kind of making holidays, touring holidays, or staying holidays, it's really a system that fits, that functions, that is easy really to organize. So let's become a little bit more concrete. What does it mean, this system of national, regional, local routes in Switzerland? We have these yellow points. In German we call them Serviceorte. It's these points where the public transport stops are, where normally accommodation providers are, and so on, hotels, campings, normally also bike rental stations, and so on. And all these different points, destinations, service points, as we call them, are described in the same way. Here an example, Lucerne. It's an extract of our website, switzerlandmobility.ch, where you can see what is the character, what are the highlights, the points of interest, but also the main services in this place. Come back again to the map. Then we have what you have seen in theory, now a little bit more concrete. In reality, we have the national routes, the regional routes, and the local routes for hiking. In blue, for cycling in Switzerland, then a little bit less dense for mountain biking. Again, the same thing for inline skating and for canoeing. And if you take that all together, you can see immediately that it's quite dense, but on the other side also we can say it's quite official. There is, in the meanwhile, we can say, nothing else in Switzerland for cycling, for hiking, for mountain biking than Switzerland mobility that is regionally or nationally relevant. It's the official offer. So we have one entrance door with, of course, the approach including the partners and not excluding. So since quite 4 years now, nobody had a reason to create a cycling offer or a biking, mountain biking offer or a hiking offer besides Switzerland Mobility. It's really one official national offer. So make a zoom. You can see here, for example, Lucerne. Also on the destination level, this network is quite dense. We communicate also all the signposted hiking routes on the web map here, for example. All the routes based or coming from the website, from the web map, are detailedly described. Here you can see an example how we describe the routes. Also here again, very important, it's not only a description of the route, but we have integrated all the relevant services that belong to this route, like accommodation, like public transport, like available guidebooks from our partners according to this route. The different routes are not only described on the overall route level, but also on the route section level. Here you can see an example how we do that, and all that always in 4 languages, in French, in German, in Italian, and of course also in English. It's possible from the web map to print out freely these maps to organize your travel, to take them with you. You can change the scale and so on. And here you can see a result, how you can print out, which quality also you can print out the map information of Switzerland Mobility. I really invite you, for those who haven't seen till now, the website of Switzerland Mobility we offer, to discover it, and you can also see very easily how services are linked to the routes, linked to the official offer. So, we have, in a way, Switzerland Mobility, we have 5 websites. We have canoeing in Switzerland, we have inline skating in Switzerland, we have mountain biking in Switzerland, cycling in Switzerland, and hiking in Switzerland. So you see again, the system behind, the logic behind, the strategy behind is totally the same. If you understood once the website of canoeing in Switzerland, you immediately will understand the same for cycling. So once again, not only on the spatial level, but also on the communication level, also on the brand level specifically, it's important to make it easy. You have to learn once and not twice or 3 times the offer in Switzerland. In 2008, we launched Switzerland Mobility. For example, on the website, we had a little bit more than 1 million of visits. 2010, more than doubled, and 2011, we had 3.4 million of visits. So it really goes to the right direction, the development of the website visits, for example. We have also guidebooks for canoeing, for inline skating, for mountain biking, for cycling, and for hiking. And here again, you see the logic, the system behind is the same. The main pages of the guidebooks are conceived in the same way. And also, what is important, you recognize immediately the color of hiking is always green. Green is the color, the communicating color in guidebooks, on website, on signposting, and so on. And the same we made for cycling in blue, for mountain biking in yellow, and so on. Here again, if you talk about the brand management in Switzerland Mobility, we have really only one brand management that makes it easy to understand these different offers. So, to conclude the Switzerland Mobility part, you can easily imagine that without partners we would be nothing. And it's not only the public partners, but also the private partners who are really, really important, who sell also quite a lot of services based on the Switzerland Mobility Network. And if we talk about services, for example, we talk about accommodation partners, like, for example, Medvind Bike in Germany. Also, Switzerland Mobility has accommodation partners. Altogether, we have for all Switzerland between 1,000 and 1,200 accommodation partners, hotels, bed and breakfast, and so on. And they are communicated along the routes. Here you can see an example. If you click on Show me all the accommodation partners of Switzerland Mobility on this route, then appears a list of all these partners. They are briefly described, and always they have a link that leads directly to the accommodation partner. So you can see what we are doing and what we are not doing. We are not a reservation platform. Switzerland Mobility is an entrance store, is an information platform to lead the consumers in the most direct way to the platform where we can sell or make, buy or make a reservation. And all the accommodation partners, they are also shown on the web map, so you can also look the concrete route on the map and then see where the accommodation partners of Switzerland Mobility are. And the same system, we realized the same kind of linking with the tour operators. We have more or less 140 bookable offers that are contracted together with Switzerland Mobility, and on this base we are communicating them, for example, also on the website. The system is again the same. You can get the list of all the bookable offers related to a specific route. They are shortly described and then again linked with a bookable offer, the concrete bookable offer. Here, for example, with Swiss Rails, it's an important partner of Switzerland Mobility, the most important tour operator for Switzerland Mobility. And here you can see also the graphic. It's a little detail, but for us, of course, not a little detail. When Swiss Rails communicates cycling offers, it makes it in blue. When Swiss Rails communicates hiking offers, it makes it in green. So there's a slight approach, coordination between the different partners with the same graphical elements. Then the same system, the same connecting strategy with guidebooks and maps, with bike rental stations, with rental stations or battery recharge stations for electric bikes, for example, more than 500, with bike shops in Switzerland. There we have a partnership with the federal organization of the bike shops in Switzerland, and points of interest for culture, for nature, and so on. They are also described together or coordinated with the touristic regions and destinations in Switzerland. So altogether you see some of them, not all, but some of the most important partnerships, accommodation partners, bookable offers, guidebooks, rental stations, and so on, always strongly related with the different routes in communication. Voila! You have seen now some slides, maybe 150 till now. I just come to the end, to the European part, or to the message, what could this mean for other countries? And of course, we were contacted quite often in the last 4 years from other countries. Would it be possible also to make it, for example, in Czech Republic, or in Denmark, or in France specifically, or in Austria, and so on? And in a way, we always say yes, because the principles, the ideas behind are not so different. What is the situation when we look in not only Switzerland, the situation before Switzerland Mobility, but also in many, many other countries? We have normally many projects for cycling, for hiking, for mountain biking, and so on. And they are developing, they are growing, and so on. And in the end, what does it mean for the end consumer? Quite often, unfortunately, it's an image like that. Many offers for cycling, many offers for hiking, many offers for mountain biking, and so on. But if you take that as a whole, also if you ask yourself, is it possible to communicate this overall, all these offers, for example, on national level, it's not so easy. And that's also the reason why normally if there are so many offers, but they're not strongly coordinated, it's not so easy to understand this sum of the offers. And so you may ask yourself, what could be the idea behind? What is necessary to do? And one point that could help is to put a little bit a stronger direction behind these different projects, to coordinate them better. And if you make the same exercise again, you see, you have again many cycling offers, you have again many mountain biking offers. You have many partners again, but the image as a whole, you see it immediately, it's easier to understand. And that's one of the main reasons why we think, based on our own experience, a coordination on a trans-regional, or ideally on a national level, is really important. And so, not tomorrow, not after tomorrow, but maybe after tomorrow, we will see a situation where, based on national coordinations that are becoming stronger, maybe we will have an offer in Europe that can be more easily connected. And they are really encouraging examples more and more in Europe. It's not theory, it's not a dream, it's more already than just a dream. And what is important, you can see, or you can imagine, one basic principle that was really, really important in Switzerland is the national coordination. For different mobility forms, or just for cycling, or just for hiking, it doesn't matter. In Switzerland we did, for the moment, this coordination and this national communication for 5 mobility forms. Sometimes, for example, for cycling, there exist also recommendation standards on the European level, for example, Eurovelo for the transnational routes. And what was, for example, also important, not only the national coordination, but the national rules for this communication of the different offers. For example, the communication color for hiking is green, for cycling it's blue, and so on. That makes it easier to understand on a national level these offers. And you may laugh, but for example, in Czech Republic now, they are discussing to make something similar to Switzerland. It's called Czech Republic or Czech Mobility. And they talk about colors, and they now want to communicate the cycling offer in blue, for example. It shows really that there are examples who encourage them. Then again, what is important is a unified signposting system. End consumers never will understand on a national level the offer if every destination, every region communicates cycling routes in a totally different way. In reality, on the routes is the signposting. So it's again an element that is really, that was important in Switzerland to have a national standardized system for signposting for all these 5 mobility forms. Brands. This is the brand of hiking in Switzerland. Then we have brand for cycling in Switzerland, for mountain biking in Switzerland, for inline skating and for canoeing. Here you can see again on the brand level, it's easy, it's simple, it's comparable between these different mobility forms. Well, so that was a short introduction to Switzerland mobility. In the end, some dreams, some reflections about the European level, but what is the message behind? Definitely not that other countries should do the same that we did, but there are some good experiences where really we think that's worth to try it again, some of these elements to applicate it also in other countries. And so you can also consider Switzerland mobility as an open source. Basically, we have no secrets. That's also one of the reasons why I really had a pleasure to tell you about what we were doing in Switzerland. Thank you very much for your attention, and good luck with your projects in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucas.